real animal revenge stories that actually happened when poachers step into a protected area. They bring high-powered rifles, heavy-duty tools, and the chilling confidence of a predator that thinks sits at the top of the food chain. They think they're the hunters. But sometimes, in the dead of night on the African plains, they are dead wrong. In one stunning case, a group of men sneaked into a South African game reserve. They weren't after lions, they were after the rhinos that the lions shared a home with. They were armed and ready for a multi-day hunt. What they weren't ready for was the local lion pride, which turned on them with a ferocity that no human could ever hope to match. The pride delivered a brutal kind of justice, leaving little behind but a warning to anyone who would dare follow in their footsteps. So, what really happens when the hunted become the hunters? What does it look like when nature's fury is finally unleashed? Section 1, The Sanctuary and the Sibuya Game Reserve in South Africa's Eastern Cape is a sprawling sanctuary for some of the continent's most majestic and most endangered wildlife. It's a place where rhinos, elephants, and lions are supposed to be safe, protected by fences, patrols, and the wildness of the land itself. But no sanctuary is perfect. The illegal trade in rhino horn is a brutal, high-stakes business. On the black market, a single horn can be worth more than its weight in gold, driving poachers to take unbelievable risks. And in early July 2018, a group of at least 3 men decided to take that risk at Sibuya. They slipped through the fences in the dark, stepping into a world where they didn't belong. These guys were professionals. Their gear told a story: a high-powered rifle with a silencer, an axe for the gruesome job of hacking off a rhino's horn, wire cutters, and enough food for several days. Their mission was cold-blooded: find a rhino, kill it, and disappear. But every step they took deeper into the reserve, they weren't just trespassing on protected land, they were walking straight into the territory of a 6-member lion pride. These lions were the true kings of Sibuya, and the poachers, focused only on their prize, had clearly forgotten the #1 rule of the wild: you are never alone. Section 2, A Fateful Encounter. We don't know the exact moment the poachers realized their mistake was a fatal one. We only have the evidence left behind. It happened sometime in the dead of night between July 1st and July 2nd, 2018. At around 4:30 in the morning, an anti-poaching dog handler heard a huge commotion from the lions. But loud roars weren't exactly unusual, so he didn't think much of it at the time. Looking back, that noise was almost certainly the moment the poachers' world fell apart. Reserve owner Nick Fox pieced together what most likely happened. The men, moving through the incredibly dense bush, walked right into the lions. Out in the open, if you know what you're doing, you might be able to stand your ground against a lion. But in the thicket, at night, you have zero advantage. There's no escape. The hunters had stumbled out of their own hunt and into the lions. In that instant, the roles were violently reversed. They were no longer the hunters. They were the prey. Section 3, The Turning of the Tables. Just imagine the absolute terror of that moment. The rustle in the dark that isn't the wind. A low growl that you feel in your chest. And then, the realization that the golden eyes watching from the shadows aren't a distant threat, they're right on top of you. The poachers were surrounded by a pride of 6 lions. Their high-powered rifle was useless. A silencer is built for stealth, not for a chaotic, close-quarters fight for your life against multiple 400-pound predators attacking from every direction. That single axe? A pitiful defense. Panic must have exploded. The professional team of poachers likely scattered, every man for himself in the terrifying dark. But you can't outrun a lion. You can't outclimb one in the low brush. The pride, working with the lethal coordination that makes them such perfect hunters, would have been a whirlwind of teeth and claws. The attack was swift, overwhelming, and absolute. As Nick Fox later told reporters, they strayed into a pride of lions. They didn't have too much time. The night that began with the arrogant confidence of men bent on slaughter ended in screams that were swallowed by the vast, indifferent wilderness. The hunters had become the hunted, and the pride was serving its own kind of justice. Mid-roll CTA. The line between predator and prey can disappear in a heartbeat. If you find these true stories from the edge of the wild as fascinating as we do, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. You won't want to miss the chilling accounts we are digging up next. Section 4, The Aftermath. When the sun came up over Sibuya, the poachers were gone. It wasn't until a field guide was driving near the lion's resting spot that the grim discovery was made: human remains were scattered in the thicket. The scene was proof of the lions' terrifying efficiency. The reserve owner said there just wasn't much left of the men. When police investigators arrived, they could only find a single skull and a few other pieces of bone and flesh. The lions had eaten almost everything. The main clue to how many men had been there wasn't from the bodies, but from what was left behind: 3 sets of shoes and gloves. The rifle, axe, and wire cutters were all recovered, confirming what the men were there to do. To let forensic teams work safely, a veterinarian had to be called to tranquilize several of the lions. The message was brutally clear. As owner Nick Fox put it, "I think we had a stroke of luck here that the lions got to them before they got to the rhinos." In a place that had lost rhinos to poaching before, this was a stunning turn of events where, this time, the animals won. Section 5, Is it really revenge? The story of the Shibuya poachers feels like a powerful tale of cosmic justice. But can we really call it revenge? Most scientists would say no. Animals don't act out of a human sense of morality or vengeance. Their actions are driven by instinct, defending territory, reacting to a threat, or the primal urge to hunt. A cornered animal doesn't plot revenge, it lashes out to survive. And yet, some cases are so specific, so chilling, that they blur the line between pure instinct and something that looks a lot like a grudge. Maybe the most famous example comes from the frozen forests of eastern Russia in 1997. A poacher named Vladimir Markov shot and wounded a massive Amur tiger. Not only did he injure the animal, but he also stole part of its kill. This double cross seemed to trigger something in the tiger. The animal didn't just run away. It started hunting the man who shot it. The tiger found Markov's remote cabin and waited. Accounts suggest it waited for 12 hours or more. It destroyed anything outside the cabin that had Markov's scent on it. When Markov finally got home, the tiger attacked, killed him, and dragged his body into the woods to eat. An investigator on the case, John Valiant, author of The Tiger, noted that this kind of premeditated hunt was highly unusual and seemed to be a direct response to the man's actions. Other animals are famous for their ferocious responses. The Cape buffalo, weighing over a ton, is considered by many hunters to be the most dangerous animal in Africa. They've earned the nickname the Mafia of the Bush for their reputation of circling back to stalk and ambush hunters who have wounded them. This isn't just random aggression, it's a direct, sustained response to a specific attacker. Conclusion: from the calculated pursuit by a wounded tiger to the overwhelming force of a lion pride, these stories tap into a primal fear. They challenge our neat and tidy ideas about the natural world. Science might call these events instinctual responses to a threat, but to a lot of people, they feel like something more. They feel like karma. They feel like justice. The poachers at Shibuya Game Reserve walked into a protected world to steal and destroy. Instead, they became a part of the food chain in the most brutal way you can imagine. Their plans weren't stopped by rangers or fences, but by the very animals that call their land home. So, was it just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or was it something more? Did these men get what they deserved? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories from the wild. Thanks for watching.